Welcome back to the Warhammer YouTube channel, and today Warhammer 40k makes its return. It's been a little while, Simon.
Yes, it was a little while. I mean, you were quite busy. I'm still occupied a bit, but finally we made it a little bit. Because unfortunately, we also have to announce that might be this the last battle report. We hope maybe to do it before one or maybe two more. But Michael will leave us soon.
Things are starting to go in boxes. The wife's already headed back to the States. It is an unfortunate thing when it comes to this particular career, but we will be leaving. Made some great friends and, of course, had some great games.
Of course, and today I'm trying to give you a little bit a reminder.
Yeah. So what we got today is speed versus resilience and your Chaos Space Marine Force, which can be Thousand Suns and Death Guard. But that's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about my Drukhari. You've seen them before. It's the Witch Cult of Incessant Rage. They use the red grief profile. That means they can reroll failed charges. It also means, more importantly, that they can advance and then charge in the same turn, making them super fast. And you can see at 1,750 points, I got a ton of models today. So over on the right, what I have is an Outrider detachment. It is led by the Succubus Kitty, who as always is armed with her Archaic Glaive and then her Impaler, because I like my Succubi to be armed with different weapons. She has a combat drug that's going to give her +2 speed.
Okay.
I got 3 units of 6 Reavers, the jet bikes. One of them has the Heat Lances for character hunting, and 2 of them have the blasters for vehicle hunting. All 3 of them have been upgraded with the combat drug that gives them +1 attack. And I got 15 Hellions, Simon, coming for you. They have been upgraded with the combat drug that gives them +1 toughness to kind of withstand your bolters.
But don't forget one thing. When you charge with them, what are you mostly forgetting with them? The 4+ mortal wounds.
I do, yeah. So they do have grav talons, 2 in each of them. So thanks for reminding me of that. Please remind me of that during the game as well, because as it has been a while, this is it's going to be a little rusty for me. So over on this side, what we have is a battalion of witches. So that is led by the warlord, of course, who is Dolly.
Mm-hmm.
And Dolly has her Agonizer and Archaic Glaive. And the Agonizer, we have the special weapon, the artifact, which is the Trick Tip Whip.
Okay.
And so that gives her +3 attacks. Her combat drug gives her an additional attack.
So how much attacks will have? 8, 9?
8, I believe.
Oh.
So plenty. And then her warlord trait is precision blows, which means if she rolls a 6 to wound, it does a mortal wound as well.
On a natural 6 or just a 6?
So it's just a 6+ to wound.
So technically, if you get a modifier, you will proc it on a 5, 4 respectively.
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
I don't think I have any modifiers that give me +1 to the to wound, but if I did, it would, yeah, absolutely. And then right next to her, we have Dolly. Dolly has been upgraded with a combat drug, which gives her +1 toughness, and she has the blaster pistol along with the Archaic Glaive. I did spend a command point to open the Dark City repository for artifacts, and so she has the Hell Glaive, which does straight 3 damage.
Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. 5 units of witches, so I got 2 10 witch units, and they have 1 of each witch weapon, and all of my Hecatrexes across these 5 units are armed the same. They have Agonizers and they have blast pistols. I got a unit of 7. That one has the Chardonnette and Impaler with it, and then 2 units of 5. Now, when it comes to combat drugs, all 3 of these big units have been given the drug that gives them +1 strength in combat. We got +2 leadership here and +1 weapon skill. Those are kind of my throwaways.
Okay.
Well, we got transports for all these witches, so I got 2 Venoms. They have the underslung twin splinter rifles, so not these splinter cannons.
Okay.
A little bit shorter range, but a lot cheaper. And 3 Raiders with the Dark Lances.
So how many poison weaponry do you have? Actually, just these 2.
Those 2, yes. And then all the pistols, and then over here we have some splinter rifles. And
so the pistols are also all poison weapons?
Except for the blasters, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So 3 Raiders with the Dark Lances. And lastly, I brought 1 unit of Scourges over here. They have 2 of the dark light weapons, which their names are escaping me right now, and a total of 5 scourges to soak up wounds. So
Okay.
9 command points goes down to 8 because I took the second relic, and a whole bunch of bodies coming at you. And it's a dark lance. They have 2 dark lances. So you have any questions at this point?
Well, I know they're fast. I know they can be annoying, but I know one thing what they don't like: attrition.
They do not. So we'll see how this plays out on the table. We're playing an ITC mission. We'll see if my speed can help me secure some of those objectives and maybe survive long enough to win this game. All right, so let's come back after we get your army set up and we can talk through that.
So guys, there we go. 1,749 points of Death Guard and Thousand Suns. I know it's a little bit heretical because Thousand Suns and Death Guard, they don't operate voluntarily. But on this Imperial planet, they found out they have common goals, and those pirates who are worshipping Slaanesh, they don't like Slaanesh.
Whoa. Drukhari do not worship Slaanesh. They run in fear from her.
Well, you can see it in that way or that way. Let's say.
I mean, we birthed her, so she's like the kid no one likes.
Yes, exactly. So that's why they hooked up together. I have 2 battalions giving me 13 command points to toy with today. And I have 2 relics. So that's why I also have to spend 1 command point. So I have 12 command points in total. And I will start first with the Death Guard because that's easier. I have a battalion of Death Guard with a Lord of Contagion and Magnificent Platecaster. The Lord of Contagion has the relic Suppurating Plate. So for every save I made on this guy, on a 4+, you receive a mortal wound.
Okay.
So it's quite, it's like an interesting thing, like stop hitting yourself. And he has a Man Reaper, and for every Nurgle unit in 7 inches who is in close combat at the beginning at the turn, the enemy unit receives on a 4+ mortal wound. So this is Nurgle's Blessing called. As I said, the Malignant Playecaster, just the normal staff. He has Miasma of Pestilence and Blades of Putrefaction. Miasma of Pestilence gives you a -1 to hit.
Okay.
And Blades of Putrefaction, unfortunately, sorry guys, but I have to read that. It gives you, it adds to 1 to wound rolls.
Okay.
Until the next psychic phase. And furthermore, any 7+ with a plague weapon gives you a mortal wound.
Okay, and you can cast that on other units.
On Nurgle units.
Okay.
With plague weapons.
Okay.
Meaning, if he casts that on him, on that unit, with which, for example, with your witches in close combat, any wound roll of 6 is a mortal wound in addition.
Okay.
You can enhance it much more further. You can use Veterans of the Long War, so it's 5 up. Yeah, there are some things what I can do. Yeah, so these are also, in my opinion, the most or the best psychic shenanigans. And one thing which you also have to know is when he manifests a psychic power and an enemy unit is it's enough when just one model is in 7 inches that the nearest enemy model receive a mortal wound. It's so-called pestilential psychic fallout.
Okay.
So technically it's better than Smite in short range fights because you just have to make those 2 things going and you just receive 2 mortal wounds.
Okay, and it's the closest unit within 7
The
inches.
closest
Okay.
unit. I can't choose, it's the closest.
Okay.
So then I have 3 troop choices. In the back I have unfortunately to proxy a little bit the Poxwalkers. So for anyone who wants to see, this is started to painting with the new contrast. As we already were talking before, in my opinion it's a supplement, but it won't substitute the older, let's say, proper painting techniques. And I can see potential on Nurgle-esque armies, because I mean, I'm quite happy how it works out, but still I have to go in dry brushing and edge lighting. But okay, we are not talking here about that one, but because everyone is now talking about contrast, we also want to give our 5 cents to that one. Or I at least. Okay, so 20 Poxwalkers.
That's 1 unit?
1 unit.
Okay.
One thing you have to know, they have also disgustingly resilient, 5 inches movement, strength free, toughness free, and they're mindless.
Okay, what's that mean?
They don't flee.
Okay.
So they are immune to moral.
They have a 5-up demon save?
No, they just
okay.
Just the simple Death Guard Benny of 5+ disgustingly resilient.
Okay.
And you have to know disgustingly resilient is applying also against mortal wounds.
Of course.
Okay, then the next unit is here 7 Plague Marines with 3 plasmas. I don't why I have here bolt gun is just I don't like to cut bits and making it, because this is then not looking like nice. So this champion also has a plague plasma gun, and then all have bolt guns.
Okay.
And plague knives. Plague weapon means I can reroll 1 of wounding. And another unit of plague marines. Actually, both champions have the plague sword, which is one. I think it's for free or just 1 point, and you can reroll all wounds. So that's nice. And you have here another 7-man unit with bolt guns and 2 blight launchers.
Okay.
So yes. So and he just had a simple plain bolt gun, and that's the Death Guard part. Now we go to the Thousand Suns part. Also battalion. You can see I have as HU choices my standard Demon Prince and my Exalted. The Demon Prince can now interestingly have the War Bolter, which I also purchased for 3 points, which is amazing. He has wings, obviously, and his 2 additional known psychic powers are Gaze of Fate for rerolling and Diabolic Strength. And the Exalted on the disc has Prescience and Warp Time. And then I have 3 units of Rubric Marines. In the front you can see small unit with Warp Flamers. The guy has Weaver of Fates, meaning increasing invulnerable saves. Here in the back line we have 10-man squad with a Soul Reaper. This guy knows temporal manipulation, so meaning I can heal Thousand Sun units. And this is also the same 10-man guys with Soul Reaper, and has Glamour of Zinj for another -1 to hit. So essentially, also with some stratagems in back, I can put potentially every turn 3 units with a -1 to hit modifier.
Okay.
Yes. So yeah. So it's like I always wanted actually to try the strength of both armies together, even though it's considered being under Chaos Guys a little bit heretical.
Who likes working with the Death Guard, really? They're kind of on their own.
Did you see the one Chaos Undivided thing?
No.
You have to see it. You will love it about the Death Guard.
I'll check it out.
It's the best one. So yeah, essentially, I'm trying to drone your Drukhari into attrition.
Okay. Well, we'll see what you can do.
And I forgot, obviously, to tell I have here my 2 Contemptors with the Butcher cannons.
Okay, 24-inch range?
Nope, 36.
36, okay.
It's not the carries, it's the Butcher.
Okay, those are the things that can really reach out and touch into your army.
And damage too, yes.
Okay, yep, sure. Alright, so 1,750 points, getting ready to square off against the Drukhari in ITC Mission number 1. So, let's have at it. Alright, ITC Mission number 1 means there are 6 objectives on the board. And so it's 12 and 18 for all the corners, and then 28 inches in the middle of the board for those 2 objectives. So you can see them there. Now we're playing in an old Imperial fortification. The Imperials have long since fled. But what we got here is a couple of sections of woods. So that's area terrain, and then -2 to charge through. We have some ruins here, the Sky Shield Light landing platform, and then the Mechanicus building back there is also ruins. Now the rest of the buildings, like the bastions and those bunkers, are all going to be impassable terrain, so you cannot go in, but you can certainly go on. And then lastly, we have some crates on both sides for line of sight blocking terrain. So I think that's going to cover it for that. The deployment style that we got today is Dawn of War. So we are just squared off. Probably the most model Simon and I have ever had on the table playing each other. With both big armies right now and 1,750 points. And for our ITC secondaries, I have picked Recon, Ground Control, and Engineers. Simon has picked Big Game Hunter, so that's going to be these 3 raiders right here. He has picked Butcher's Bill, which is kill 2 units in a turn and get a point, and then also Ground Control. So those 2 center objectives are really going to be determining who wins this game possibly. So Simon, let's go over your deployment first.
Okay, overall I will start from my phalanx. It's essentially phalanx. Here I have a conga line of Poxwalkers, screening, obviously. In the center I have here, or on the left side I have here Rubrics with Soul Reaper. In the center I have here Warp Flamers and another squad of Rubrics. And on both flanks they are secured by the Plague Marines. And on the back I have here my Exalted, Malignant Plaguecaster, Lord of Contagion, Demon Prince, and for flanking security I have here my both contenders.
Okay, I've deployed at the very edge of my board, so we're going to start in my center where we have the Scourges currently up in the ruins. Behind them is the unit of 6 Reavers with the Heat Lance. Over to the right we have the Raider that has the 3 Succubi in it and a 7-person Witch Squad, and then 2 10-person Witch Squads in both those Raiders. My first set of 5 Witches here are Engineers, so they will start scoring turn 2 hopefully. They are in the Venom. Far right flank is a unit of Reaver Jet Bikes with the Blasters. Moving over to the left we have my second unit of Engineers, the 5-person Witch Squad. In this particular Venom, 15 Hellions starting on the board. And then on the far left flank, we have the Reavers. So that should do it. We'll be back to see who goes first. I will have a +1. All right, Drukhari with a +1 has rolled a 5. That becomes a 6 to your 5. Simon, I will take first turn. With all those command points, are you going to play Take Cover for 2 command points to improve your armor save by 1?
Definitely.
Okay.
Granting those Poxwalker 6 up and improving those saves, and particularly knowing that you're very fast and you can skip that distance quite easily. Yes, definitely.
All right.
So I'm now down to 10 command points.
And as always, Simon, let's have a good game.
2 men.
All right, we're starting turn 1 movement phase, and Simon, I'm done moving. And as you can tell, I haven't moved anybody. So we're going to take advantage of the long-range firepower of these Dark Lances and shoot ourselves some targets that we see. So we'll be back after the shooting phase next. Drukhari are done shooting and they kind of failed miserably. The Venoms took out 2 of the Poxwalkers while 2 of the Dark Lances bounced off the invul save of that Dreadnought. Over here, the 2 Dark Lances were in range to the Death Guard Marines, unfortunately not the Dreadnought, and killed 1 of them. So with that, I'm not going to score any points this turn, but we did do some preparatory fires, just not nearly as much as we had hoped with the Dark Lances. So it goes with the Dark Lances. We go to Simon's turn 1 next. Simon has signaled the general advance. Well, let's start over here on your right, Simon.
So yes, on the right, before the first movement, I put Cloud of Lies on these guys. So they're essentially just able to target if they are the nearest enemy unit. Then on the front I have here my whole conga line, and I also played the stratagem The Dead Walk Again, so it lasts until my next round, meaning that any model in within 7 inches who dies, infantry, adds to my poxwalkers. Overall, I just advanced slightly in front to get maybe some shots to start up softening Michael. And yes, that's all for now. I think I didn't do anything else. Yes.
Nope, I think that's about it.
Yeah, so here are the first Rubric squad with Soul Reaper. Here's Demon Prince with the Contemptor. In the center we have the Warp Flamers, Meridian Plaguecaster, Exalted on Disc, another squad of Rubrics. A lot of Contagion is filling the gap here. And here are the Plague Marines.
Alright, let's go to your Psychic phase, which will be a doozy.
Oh yeah.
Psychic phase for Simon in turn 1.
It was a Medicore, I would say. He failed to cast Gaze of Fate on himself and also failed to smite those Scourges. Demon Prince is probably some mind issues or something to think about.
Still translating into real space from
Yes,
before.
I think so as well. Then I casted Weavers of Fate on this guy with this Aspiring squad. So he has a 4-up invulnerable. Then I could push through a Miasma of Pestilence on this Plague Marines, -1 to hit modifier. Glamour of Zinj on this guy. And yes, unfortunately, Prescience on this guy failed as well. So
you also nearly perilled.
Yes, I perilled with the Malignant Plaguecaster, so I used the command point to reroll that. Because technically, with the Gaze of Fate, I can reroll any roll, so this also would apply to this guy.
Yeah, unfortunately that did not go off, so burned up in their command point. You were down to 8 from starting at 15, so while I didn't do a whole lot of damage that first turn, at least I'm making you chew through some command points here early on.
But the thing is, it's also very unusual for me to toying with such amount of command points, so
we're getting back to your comfort zone.
Yes.
Alright, so shooting phase will be next, yes?
Yes.
Alright, Simon, your shooting phase about as effective as mine. Let's go through it.
Unfortunately, it was not a lot in range, but that was obvious for me. Just 3 bolters and the Soul Reaper cannon. I think they didn't took out none. No, the Soul Reaper cannon didn't took anything because you made your saves plus the Inure the Pain. And the bolters managed to kill 1 Scourge.
Yep.
That guy was shooting at that raider over there. You played Lightning Fast Reflexes for -2 command points and didn't harm him at all.
It worked.
It worked well.
Over here on the left.
That Contemptor, he was in range and he stripped off 4 wounds, 3 hits, and 2 wounds, I think.
Yep, I made 1 of the 3 saves, so a total of 4 damage to him. So at the end of the turn, Simon, you control
2 objectives,
which is 2 more than me.
Yes, because you have none, and I get 2 points for me in front.
So at the end of turn 1, the score is 2-0, but now the Drukhari are about ready to launch their attack, I think. Time for the Drukhari to initiate the attack. We have begun by moving my engineers out of their venoms. They are now by objective number 6 and objective number 5. So they don't score this turn, but if they start controlling that objective at the beginning of next turn, they will score. Over here on the left, I've taken some refuge behind these shipping containers, while the Hellions have advanced forward and now are in range for those guys. This venom has moved forward. My Scourges have remained put on top of the ruins. All 3 raiders have moved forward, and they're being supported by this bike unit here. We have a venom over here looking at some targets, and then on the right flank, these guys have moved up as well and are within 18 inches of the Plague Marines there. So it's really starting to get hot. We're going to do some shooting, and then probably by the next turn, we should be doing some assaulting, so we'll see how that goes. Drukhari shooting is over. Over here on the right with the Reavers, they didn't manage to get any of those Plague Marines, unfortunately, while the 3 Raiders all opened up and all missed the Glamored Dreadnought there. The Scourges, however, did manage to hit and wound once. Simon failed a save before re-rolling with a command point to make the save, so both his Dreadnoughts are still on full health. The only other shooting action was from the Witches inside of these 3 Raiders. The 2 Venoms and all these Hellions managed to take out 13 of the Poxwalkers, really crippling Simon's screen. He has a total of 5 left there, but not enough to kill him. So at the end of the turn, I'm not going to make any charges. I will control at least one objective to get my first point on the board. So it will be Simon's turn 2 coming up next. Scores 2-1, favor Chaos. Simon, you're done moving in your turn 2. What have you done?
Actually just moving up this guy a little bit more behind the rubrics. And I advanced the Poxwalkers, spent a CP to get a little bit more in range that walk against stratagem can come to work. Unfortunately not, I rolled a 1, I actually needed a 3, so yeah. And then they advanced as well, also measly 2 inches, so I get 1 flamer, unfortunately just into flaming range. Rest stayed put. And now I think it's time to exchange some blows.
All right, more psychic powers first.
Yes.
All right. Simon, what's worse than mediocre in a psyker phase?
More mediocre. Yeah.
Maybe just bad. All right, so go ahead.
It was really bad. But okay, we have to deal with that one. He made Gaze of Fate, and then he has smitten 2 Hellions. I tried to do Weavers of Fate on this guy. Happened, so he has a +1 invulnerable. Then Glamour of Zinj of this guy didn't go off. Prescience on this guy also didn't go off, and Warp Time also didn't go off on this Warp Flamer rubrics. Essentially because I had to use Gaze of Fate for Glamour already to getting it off. And yes, and I just got off here Miasma of Pestilence on the Plague Marines.
Okay.
And now we are starting to shoot something.
All right, there's plenty of targets out there for you as the Dark Eldar have closed. Let's see what you can do for them. Turn 2 shooting done. What do we do?
Well, it was a little bit confused, but also not that much what I wanted to have.
Let's just go over the damage done, how about? And then any highlights.
Yes, so Warp Flamer, I think you saved that one.
Yeah, you only did 1 wound after rolling 2 hits.
Yeah, so Warp Flamers keep going me to annoy and yes.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of shooting from, I think, those Inferno Bolters took a couple of your Hellions out.
A ton.
The Soul Reaper took out 1 more Scourge.
Yes.
This bolter, the Warp Bolter, also took some of them out.
Mm-hmm.
These guys, the bolters, and 1 plasma was shooting at the Witches, just getting 2 out of them. And the plasma here made just 1 damage, 1 hitting just actually. And then the Combi Bolter also took out here something.
Yep.
But was not able to do more than two wounds to him, I think.
Okay, I'm going to note real quick, I did spin lightning fast reflexes on the Hellions. That's why I still have 4 standing, I think. All right, over on the left, not as good of results, I would say.
No, not really. Contemptor did actually nothing to blow up this Raider, which was quite off a plan. Then also dedicating Inferno Bolt Pistol and the Soul Reaper into that Raider, doing absolutely nothing. But then in the end,
you did a little bit of damage because he's down to 2 now.
Yes, he's down to 2, but
wasn't able to destroy him like you were hoping.
Yes, but the Inferno Bolters took a great toll of the Reavers over there.
Took 2 of those out. Yeah.
Yeah, the Blight Launchers were actually the guys who.
You're right. Yeah.
Who were getting out some wounds there. And the bolters were annihilating 1 guy over there, so I was hoping for more a bit, actually. And I was also hoping that I could go with these guys much more further to get the refilling of the Poxwalkers, but unfortunately didn't pay out that way.
Yeah, wartime failing really hurt you there.
Yes, this really hurted me, because getting those guys there and having these guys nearer, that could be refilling Poxwalkers.
Yes. But, so at the end of the turn, Simon, since you're not going to charge, I will spend 2 command points, bring me with 2 left, to auto-pass their morale with Insane Bravery. That is the only morale check I need to give you right now. And you will go up, because you control 3 objectives, to my 2, to 4 points. And I'm sitting on 1 as we go into turn 3. Very exciting game.
Mm.
It's girls' night out for the Drukhari now, as I have kept a unit of engineers back here securing 6 at the beginning of the turn, also securing 5. So that's going to net me 2 points. The Scourges have remained in place, and this Raider, after disgorging its 10 witches, has moved back just about 6 inches. These girls have moved up to secure objective number 2, while all the other witches, to include the 3 succubi in the lead there, have gotten out to threaten Simon. Jumping over them were the 2 healthy Raiders. And over on the right, we have 2 sets of Reavers and also a Venom that you can see. Let's go over to the left, where a Venom has snuck up there, along with 2 the Hellions, a set of bikes, and that should be it. So shooting followed by assault. Drukhari shooting is done, and it took a lot of effort in order to get rid of the Poxwalkers. Essentially everything with a splinter, to include the bikes on the far right, opened up at him, and Simon was rolling hot, but eventually that luck roll ran out and killed him. We managed to take off 4 Poxwalkers on Simon's left, your right.
Plague Marines.
Plague Marines, excuse me. We killed one of these Thousand Sun rubrics right there. And again, no damage with the lances. It's been very, very disappointing. And that was it. So I've really only killed 5 models, and plus 4 Plague Bear Poxwalkers. Okay, but it did the job, so now we get the charge, and Power for Pain is fully charged right now. We'll be getting +1 to hit, so let Simon do some Overwatch as we go into the charge phase. Pretty successful fight phase for the witches, as all 3 succubi made it in, along with that unit of witches. They managed to wipe out the unit of rubrics that were there, just the combined powers of the 3 succubi, with the Raider doing no damage but soaking up some firepower. In return, Simon hit it with his spellcaster, doing 3 damage. Over on the right, we put 2 wounds on the Lord of Contagion. He has taken out a bike in return. One of those wounds was a mortal wound caused by, yes, the Grav Talons. Over here, we managed to kill one with a mortal wound, and in return, they killed one of my bikes back. Not real good wounding rolls for the witches. Lots of hits, hitting on 2 pluses. Over here.
5's the wounds.
5's the wounds. Over here, Key. My Hellion has survived after he, in his squad, really charged into the unit of rubrics there, and then some of them, during their consolidation move, moved into the ones with the flamers. And in return, they didn't kill anybody, but in return, I've lost 3, but the sergeant is still alive. Over here, we did manage to kill 3 of these plague bearers. In return, they did 1 wound to a bike. So right now we need some morale tests. Simon, would you care to start? I should say, I spent 2 command points for lightning fast reflexes, making him harder to hit. So as a 3, he's okay.
As a 2 is also okay.
Okay, and for me, a 1. So that guy right there is okay. Now, as far as scoring, we control at least 1 objective, and we have killed 2 units. We also get recon for a unit in each quarter of the board, and my engineers, as I mentioned before, picked me up 2 points at the start. So now the score is 7-4, favor of the Drukhari. Simon's turn 3 next. Simon, things are picking up your turn 3. What'd you do?
Actually, not a lot. I'm just actually swapping those both 2 here. And that's everything. Rest stays put in combat.
Okay.
Because later in the shooting phase, I will have a big surprise for you, but I don't tell it now. We'll see it later.
Great, I love your surprises.
Yeah, and now we're going for the psychic phase.
All right, let's do it. So Simon's, what's worse than a really mediocre Psyker phase? A bad one, right?
Yeah, and it can't get worse. I mean, just getting, I think, trying to make 3 smites on this guy, not getting it off on a 5.
He's a hero.
Plus, in the last one, taking a double 1 peril and eating 2 mortal wounds on my Rubik squad. It's, yeah.
This is no longer your aspiring sorcerer. So what did you get off?
I just got off Gaze of Fate on this guy. Then I rerolled that 1 command point, 1 reroll for the smite.
Yep.
For a 3, I just got a 2.
Yep.
So it was going on like that. Then he has smitten this guy for 1 mortal wound. This guy has Blade of Putrefaction. Because he had a 7, it was here mortal wound. And here also smite on a 9. So he got 1 mortal wound plus additional
yeah, you did the
psychic fallout thing from the Death Guard.
So you've done 4 wounds to him.
Yes.
In the psychic phase. That was your big success. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that should be about it. Thankfully, these guys are all tied up by that one Hellion who managed to survive all that. So we have reduced your shooting this turn. All right, Simon, shooting certainly went better for you than your psychic phase. Go ahead and tell us what happened over here on the
First of all, finally, those 2 aspiring sorcerers with the Inferno Bolt pistols were able to kill that Hellion there. For a point for kill the unit. Then this guy was shooting with his butcher cannon into these ladies, all hit. And on a 2-2 wound, he rolled triple 1.
Yay!
So yeah, that was a little bit very unfortunate. Combi bolter wasn't able to shoot. This bolt pistol and this wall bolter was able to kill that raider here for the big game raider. Then at the beginning of my shooting phase, I spent my last 3 command points for Nurgle's Rod, and I put some mortal wounds here. Here 1 mortal wound.
You killed a bike and a mortal wound, so
yeah.
You did 3 to that unit.
Yes. Then here nothing, I would assume.
Nothing, correct.
There was also nothing.
Yep.
And here was...
one of them.
One of them. And the both girls nothing, but she was eating, I think, 2 wounds.
1
wound.
1 on Anna. Yeah, I think she made a 6-up save.
Yeah.
In her pain. And then lastly, your butcher cannon right here.
Finally, it took care of that raider over there. So I have definitely killed 3 units for now.
Yep. That's more than me so far.
Then I have definitely 2 points for Big Game Hunter.
Yep.
And then we'll see, because we are doing some charges now.
Yeah, let's do some fighting. All right, Simon. Didn't go as planned, but not bad.
Not that much planned.
Dreadnoughts did work.
Dreadnoughts did work at all. Okay, start over here. That Dreadnought take away these 3 bikes. And Lord of Contagion, unfortunately, didn't score... made a wound, but you saved it. These guys have taken out 1 bike, getting no casualty in return. Then here, my playcaster charged that girl, didn't do absolutely nothing in return. He died.
Dolly just slapped her.
Then the Demon Prince, I think the mistake was that I split up 5 attacks into her and 2 attacks into her. I think I made all hits, then I didn't, but I didn't wound good.
I made 3 out of 4.
Yes, you made 3 out of 4
invul saves.
Invul saves. So
with that 4 up, it can do that for you. So she's down to 2 wounds, but she's alive, and she did 4 wounds back to you.
Yes. So next round, if he survives that, he will be the champion.
Yes.
And yes, here overall, I think I made 1 wound to him.
No wounds in return.
Yes, and the Plague Marines
didn't do anything, but the Dreadnought ended up killing 3.
Yes.
So I do owe you a morale check for those guys over there. Their leadership 8. They're going to lose a bike. And I owe you 1 for these witches over here. Their leadership 8. They have lost 4, and that's a 4, so they are okay. So I'm just going to pick up a bike from over here. It's going to be the leader right there. As far as you don't need to do any morale checks. Now we both own 3 objectives, with Simon having 3, 4 over here. And because of objective secured 1 here, I control 2, 6, and 5. Simon killed 4 of my units this game turn. I've killed 3 of his, so he gets the bonus there. He picked up 2 for Big Game Hunter and 1 for Butcher's Bill. So the score is right now 10-7 favor Simon going into turn 4. Alright, so our turn 4, the Drukhari have disengaged from combat, essentially, all but the 3 succubi, and have surrounded your Plague Bringer.
No, Lord of Contagion.
Making sure he's the closest unit for the Dark Lance and the blasters I got there. And the witches have moved up, as have these witches. We're trying to get rid of Simon's characters at this point. So to that effect, we've also disengaged from over here. Of course, these units have the fly keyword, so we're going to try to kill the Exalted. Over my back line, still control Objective 5 with the Engineers for a point, and Objective 6 with the Engineers for a point. Lastly, the Scourges have remained in place right here in the back line. These guys are, of course, concerning, but if we can start taking care of some of these characters, I think I got a good shot. So, go straight into the shooting phase next. Alright, finally a good turn of shooting for the Drukhari. We've killed the Lord of Contagion, and then the Splinter took care of the last 2 Plague Marines over there. Simon not having good luck on his Disgusting Resilient. Simon did make a 4-up invul save on his Demon Prince against Dolly's Blast Pistol, but he's still looking at 3 succubi right there. Over here, 5-up invul save for the Exalted Sorcerer. But we did kill one of these guys here with the Splinter, and then a Dark Lance took out one of the Plague Marines back there. So overall, not bad. As we go into the charge phase, Drukhari are starting to roll. Great turn of close combat fighting for the Drukhari, as we have reduced the Dreadnought to 4 wounds. He was at 3, but he killed a witch and ate her, bringing him back up to 4. Those 4 witches that charged into the Demon Prince right there were enough to kill him. Simon rolled terribly. Did not need the 3 succubi to even contribute, so they are all good there.
And made none 3-up invulnerable save in a row.
That's right.
And how many it was? I think
4.
4 just.
Yep, we killed 4. Did 4 wounds, so looking good there. Over here was no close combat, so right now the Drukhari will score 2 points for Engineers. They score 1 point for having Recon still, with forces in every corner of the board. And then we hold at least 1 objective, and we have killed 3 of Simon's units, so that is going to put us in a great position. Of course, objective secured over here is going to be tough for Simon to not have me control more objectives, but we'll see what he can do. So, coming back for 1,000 Suns, turn 4 next. Alright, Simon, what'd you do?
Not a lot of movement, actually. I advanced the Warp Flamers over there. Yeah, to do some Warp Flamer things. And yeah, I moved them a bit. Exalted stays put. He also stays put, and the Contemptor went over here, so he's going for, to kill something.
Alright.
Well, hoping to kill something.
Let's see what he can do. It's tough to win when the psychic powers don't go off.
No, not really. I was getting a big smite here and killing those jet bikes over there.
Yes.
Which was very essential, actually. But unfortunately, I didn't get off warp time on a 6. Or just a 7, I don't know.
I think you rolled a 5.
Yeah, a 5, and I need a 6.
Yeah.
Just to warp time them a little bit more further, that they can do some shenanigans, but obviously not. And also, these guys were not able to put Weaver of Fates on a 6, and I think I roll a 5.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
it's been bad.
Psychic powers are today not really favoring me at all.
Tzeentch can be fickle.
Oh, very.
All right, well, let's see what you can do with your shooting now that you guys have kind of been freed up. All right, Simon, pretty successful turn for shooting.
Well, not on that what I want, but okay. Warp Flamer, 3 hits, 1 wound, and 1 save.
Kill the witch. No, you killed the witch with the 1 wound.
Yeah, with the 1 wound.
But 1 witch lives.
Yeah, this is very unfortunate because this engines here will...
Well, Engineers, I've already maxed out my points.
Oh, it's... Yeah. Okay, so... Okay, good. Yeah, then with the shooting of the Soul Reaper Camel, finally the Raider went. Venom went. Yeah. He didn't do nothing in shooting to contribute there. Once I was getting rid of this one, my Contemptor was free to shoot at one of the Succubi.
My Warlord.
Killed him, and the 4 Inferno Bolters plus the Combi Bolter killed the 4 witches over here. So yeah, it's not looking too bad, but
Yeah, you've killed 4 units to the 3 that I've killed, so the only way I can even this up is if I can kill that Dreadnought. But I'm looking good on objectives, so let's go to close combat next. All right, Simon, all the combat was on this side of the board.
yes, I just managed to kill 1 witch, hitting on freeze, failing a lot, and wounding I just 1 wound, and then obviously,
You didn't get to eat her.
yeah. So and I couldn't eat her, so yes, unfortunately. And then the whole combined attacks of everything here. I mean, one roll was, I think you had 5.
Yeah, 5 with just the witches.
Yeah, the witches which are making it actually now.
Yeah.
Quite heavy for him. And yes, so he's probably going to die next round, but hopefully he explodes on a 4+ to take some witches with him.
Ooh. All right, so I control more objectives than you right now. With 4, so I got a bonus point for that. You have killed 1 more unit than I managed to kill, so you get a bonus point for that. And with Butcher's Bill being factored in, you now have 14 points to my 12.
But you still have more bodies.
I do have lots more bodies, and it might come down to that the ground control at the end as we go to turn 5. We're going to do consolidate turns from this point on, so stick with us. Good, turn 5 for the Drukhari. Start out with this witch running like heck away from this objective because of all those flamers coming on there. Now we did manage to whittle them down after the Scourges jumped over here, and a Dark Lance took out one of them. These girls remained in place, as did these girls. Now, my 2 Succubi who are remaining, Dolly charged into the Dreadnought there and managed to kill it, while Kitty is just providing some support here. The Venom did 5 wounds to the Plague Marine back there, who made all 5 saves, but then I opened up with this Dark Lance and killed him, taking Simon off the objective. After that, these 2 bikes, there used to be 3 of them, opened up with their blasters after advancing all the way to get closest to the Sorcerer, managed to roll a 6 on the wounds and killed the Sorcerer outright, and charged into these rubrics. In the exchange, the rubrics lost quite a few. I think 4?
4, yes. 2 to mortal wounds and 2 to saves.
Yep, and then in return
Because you made 7 wounds.
Yeah, and then yeah, I've been rolling hot since we had dinner. In return, Simon did 3 wounds to me, so I have 2 bikes left, and one of those bikes is on 1 wound. So I do control at least 1 objective. I have killed 3 units, which is going to make it tough for Simon to equal. And I got recon once again with these guys right here. So with that, I am now winning 15 to 14 at the top of turn 5 as we go into the bottom of turn 5 next. All right, Simon, quick and dirty, turn 5. What'd you do?
Almost nothing. Smite over here. I think it goes off.
Yes.
But you saved that.
Inure de Pain, yeah.
Inure de Pain. Bolt pistol shooting here. Also saved it by Inure de Pain. But I could manage to kill her with a smite.
Yep.
In return, these guys were hitting 4 times. Winning 4 times, you make all the 4 up saves.
Yes. And in return, you made all your saves, so
Yeah.
it was a complete push. Now, did you cover the Butcher Cannon?
Oh no, the Butcher Cannon was shooting at this guy, 2 misses, 2 wounds, 2 failed saves, down to 6 wounds, and the Venom, I think, took 1 wound or not?
Took 1 wound and made the save.
Yes.
Yeah, it was perfect. All right, so at the end, we each control 3 objectives. I did kill more, so no secondaries for Simon. The score is now 16 to 16, a very close game. We'll finish it out here in turn 6. All right, I'm going to walk you through turn 6 before we let you know who won. So I disengaged my bikes out of combat here and then moved my Raider down. And the Dark Lances between the Raider and the Scourges actually managed to kill all 3 of them. In return, Simon moved these guys over, smited, and shot and killed my lone remaining bike. I had moved my Venom up there in order to make sure that I got recon for an additional point on turn 6 for me. And it came down to Simon trying to kill my Venom here in order to score more, because I had killed 2 units in his turn, or 1 unit in his turn, sorry, just this unit right here. But he really flubbed the roll when it came to the Butcher Cannon. He only did 1 wound with the Combi Bolter.
Wounds.
Well,
I made 2 wounds with the Butcher Cannon.
You did 2 hits.
2 hits, and then 2 the Snake Eyes on the wounding.
Yeah. So and then he did get 1 with the
Combi Bolter.
The Combi Bolter, but it wasn't enough to kill it. So it came down to ground control at the end. Simon scores objective number 3 here and objective number 4. I score objectives number 2, 6, and 1. Overall, the score is 23-20 favor the Drukhari in an incredibly close game. Ever since we came back from dinner, my dice have been on fire and Simon's has not, and that is what saw me through what has been a very interesting game. A great game, Simon. So we'll come back and talk about it, and then maybe say goodbye to Simon. Welcome back to the War Corgi YouTube channel, and congratulations to the St. Louis Blues who won the Stanley Cup for the first time in their history, and congratulations to my hometown, St. Louis, Missouri. Way to go, Blues. Simon, 23-20.
Was a heck of a game.
Was definitely a heck of a game. Played my Drukhari a little differently this time in that I got first turn, and I knew I outranged you, especially with the 5 Dark Lances I had. I was trying to pick off one of those Contemptor Dreadnoughts early, because I knew they were dangerous, and they proved to be very dangerous this game. It didn't pan out, but you did cycle through some command points very early on in the game, taking the 2 command points to take cover in the first turn and some other stratagems that you used throughout. But overall, I think the Drukhari played well, and the only reason why I hung back is because I knew Power from Pain was going to be very important to me in this game, and it was. Let me hit on 2s and things like that. So I'm really happy with the way I played my Drukhari after taking a pretty long break from Warhammer 40k and pulling out that victory. So your general thoughts on the game?
Well, what shall I say? As a Thousand Sun, you rely heavily on your psychic powers, which didn't pay off.
No.
I mean, at all. I mean, fortunately, I didn't blow up. I just wanted to blow up a little bit of my guys, but no smites were coming through, crucial things were not coming through because always missing one or something. It wasn't going from the start because Thousand Suns live from that psychic thing stuff. And yeah, I think at the beginning playing Poxwalkers with the Deadwalk again, forcing you to shoot those Poxwalkers because of the reason that when something dies you just add up something.
Sure.
And also guaranteeing me that my units will stay at least 1 or 2 rounds unharmed by your splinters or blasters or whatever you have there.
I did have to kill them first.
Yes, because otherwise it will be just piling up Poxwalkers. I mean, you kill them in bunches, but when they kill something, they add up.
Yes.
So this is something you can't win.
No, you can't win unless you kill them all, and that was my goal, to kill them all before I really got stuck in the close combat phase, and it was really like by 1 or 2 wounds that I managed to kill that last Poxwalker after some good saves by
And it soaked up a lot of firepower.
A ton of firepower. Now it was splinter weapons, which I don't mind throwing into Poxwalkers, because if I throw them into your Thousand Suns, you of course get the 2-up save. And the Poxwalkers, no save, but they're disgustingly resilient. So I didn't mind throwing the splinters into them. They did a good job for you, and they were definitely a factor in my decision making early on in the game.
Yeah, because I mean, nothing would be much more worse particularly for the Death Guard units what I have when poison weaponry coming at them.
Yep, and they showed.
Because the thing is, Death Guard with his toughness 5, it's really superior. They are resilient guys, but this poison stuff is really hurting them because you're hitting on 3s, wounding on 4s. So that's why it was good to have these Poxwalkers. Also as a screen, I mean, they were great. You were discouraged not to charge headlong like you normally do.
Right.
Which also bought me some time.
And it got you some early points. Again, I'm a little bit rusty, so I didn't even have an objective that first turn to gain a point there, much less even come close to killing a unit. And so you were able to both hold one and hold more that first turn. So you got off to a very early 2-0 lead because I was holding back so much.
Yeah. So yeah, then, well, what should I say? Well, a lot of Contagion was a little bit a disappointment. I knew you were coming at my line, so I took him. It's actually one of my HQs, or one of my 2 HQs, that he is required for my battalion. But he didn't do nothing. Even the Nurgle's Blast thing on a 4+ Immortal Wound didn't turn off a lot, because I had so many units, or Nurgle units or Death Guard units engaged in close combat. I think 3 units or 4 units, and non-mortal wounds were coming through that one. Then I was keeping my CP for the Nurgle's Rod, which you can use once per battle, and I saw already battle reports, and I also saw in local game stores that Nurgle's Rod, it's very well priced for this free.
Yeah, it can swing a game.
It can swing a game. I mean, everything in 7 inches gets a 4+ a D3 mortal wounds. So I saw already, as I said, battle reports where he was just going 4, 6, 4, 5, and then you just were eating up mortal wounds. So yeah, it worked a little bit out, but not that much as I expected. Well, Plague Marines are super objective campers.
Yeah.
I mean, of course not against your Drukharis, because they have poison weaponry, but against any army,
they're pretty good against the Drukhari too. I did eventually whittle them down, the 7-man squads, but man, they tanked against my bikes.
Yes, they did.
Being toughness 5 helps out, and disgustingly resilient 3-up armor save, they did really well.
They did really well, so they're good units. Definitely, I'm painting already more from them, so I can field more of them. My Exalted, as I said, my Demon Prince didn't do nothing at all. I mean, 3-up invulnerable. You just don't do anything.
Yeah.
Then in the close combat with one of your Succubi, that she survives that one. I mean, dedicating 5 attacks. Then I think I made 3 saves out of 4.
3 out of 4, yeah.
So that was quite unlucky, because that was hoping for the average.
She was able to swing back and did quite a few wounds back to you.
Particularly 2 mortals plus 2 failed 3-ups. And then in the next round, when your witches assaulted, I mean, he died to witches.
That's right.
He had 4 saves, 4 invulnerable saves of 3-up, and he failed them all in a row. So yeah, my Demon Prince was this time a disappointment. I think even a bigger disappointment than Lord of Contagion. Rubrics did what the Rubrics do. Yeah, and then there was these key moments, like for example this one Hellion surviving all the attacks from the 2 Rubric squads.
Yeah, no, I did play lightning fast reflexes to make him more survivable, but then he went on to survive the smite attacks and everything else.
Yeah, stuff, and the bolt pistols which were shooting in him as well. So this also helped you quite a lot.
Absolutely.
I mean, I would say actually this Hellion was your MVP, because he just managed to make me run more around into close combat, not having a round of shooting with my Inferno Bolters and Soul Reapers. So yeah, MVP is definitely the Contemptors. As always, your Dark Lances are
terrible, but they came through at the end.
Yeah, in the end, where they shouldn't have to get through. So, because in that case, I would have maybe even tied.
Yeah, I would have been really close at that point.
Yeah. But then, obviously, in the end, also it was denied to me 1 more point with the Snake Eyes. So, one can say after dinner, I think in turn 4 it started really to turn against me. Because as you mentioned in one, you were really rolling hard, even on the the pain saves and whatever you have there, and I was exactly doing the opposite. So in the end, our strategies of both, I would say it worked out. It definitely worked out. It was this time decided by dice rolls.
Yeah, let's talk real quick about secondaries before we wrap up. I chose Recon, which is a great pick for Drukhari. They're so fast. I got my 4 Recon points. Ground control was a bit iffy because, as you know, a lot of your units are very resilient and hard to take off the board. But in the end, I was able to hold 3 of those to get 3. And then lastly, I picked engineers, and those 2 5-man witch squads brought that home very early for me and gave me all 4 points.
Exactly. There. Also, when I was not able to shooting them down.
Yeah, even if you would have killed the squad on my left, the squad on my right never moved off that objective.
Definitely.
So I would have gotten the 4.
But I mean, I was trying to do it before, and they accumulated the points for you, so I could actually at least deny 2 points of that one if the shooting was a little bit more in favor. Particularly,
I would have gotten the 2 points back, is what I'm telling you, though. Yeah. I wouldn't have gotten them as early, but with that one squad sitting on objective number, whatever it is over there, 6 probably, I would have gotten those 2 points.
Yeah, and also, like I said, crucial psychic powers like warp time didn't go off, or prescience, or even glamour of siege.
Let's talk about your secondaries real quick. You took big game, and you took out 2 of my 3 raiders.
Yes.
You couldn't quite get the last one. Matter of fact, my last play was to move the raider out of line of sight of your last contemptor.
And I think it was that last raider who killed that you
killed one of the 3. Yeah, I was 3 for 3 on Dark Princes over there. And then you picked Butcher's Bill. You did not kill as many Drukhari as you normally would. You killed 10 units altogether, which isn't bad. But you only picked up Butcher's Bill 2 rounds. You could have picked it up a 3rd round if you would have killed that Venom.
Yeah.
That would have been huge. And then lastly, ground control. Since I was able to eliminate that last unit with all the War Flamers, you got 2 points there. So I won it in the secondaries. I was scoring you 11-6.
Yes. So you won it actually in the secondaries, exactly. Yep. So yeah, my list was actually designed for ground control, or let's say for securing objectives, because I can't speed up with you. I mean that's I don't have to think even about to speed up with you or trying to catch you. You will anyhow fly around and do your shenanigan things. But what I need to do is to keep those objectives, to keep always more objectives of you, to forcing you that you distribute units to holding objectives.
Yeah.
So meaning that you have to hold objectives. So for example, witch squads. So these witch squads can't go and just assault me.
Yeah, I got like 25 witches still on the board. Who are babysitting objectives right now.
Yeah, right now. But that was actually also the plan somehow, and it worked out quite good. All in all, a troop-based mix out of Death Guard and Thousand Suns can work well together.
Sure.
They bring their own benefits to each other, and I think they can culminate into a good thing. Obviously, of fluff stuff, Death Guard and Thousand Suns are not the best friends at all. But I see their potential that, for example, one guy was playing on a tournament in the States and he won it with, I think, like also ITC, he was playing with, I think, 80 or 88 Plague Marines.
Yeah, they're good. They're hard to kill.
And
especially ITC, they don't give up a lot of points.
Yeah, and he had, I think, just one Malignant Plaguecaster and 3 Chaos Lords. So for rerolling ones. So he was essentially just sitting down on the objectives, and I mean, he won a night list against typical Castellan Brave 32 thing stuff. So.
All right, last thing I'll say is I made good use of character sniping today.
Yes.
Jumping my bikes out of close combat, getting them closest to your characters and hitting them with blasters, which was a lot of fun in Dark Lances. So I think that'll be it for tonight. It was a great game. Again, 23-20, very tight. It could have been tied, or you could have even won in that last round, but it didn't work out for you. But We're going to have you back on the channel before I leave, so no final goodbyes and gifts for you at this point. But there will be something for you after the next game. So, good game, my friend.
Good game, my friend.
I hope you enjoyed this game of Warhammer 40k. This channel does do Warhammer 40k still, so if you're a Warhammer 40k fan, make sure you stick with us. If you haven't subscribed yet, I go ahead and suggest you do. But this channel that we created together has always been dedicated to miniature wargaming, as it says on the channel.
Yes.
So we will be playing 40k. We will definitely be playing Star Wars Legion and maybe some other games as we move back to St. Louis. So.
And there's one call from myself. Once when I managed to get some free time and finish my PhD and stuff like that, I will definitely come to visit you in St. Louis. And yeah.
You got a Instagram channel too, don't you?
Yes, I have an Instagram channel. It's called Inferno Round Painting.
Okay.
Obviously, everyone who's up to 40k knows that I'm a fan of the Thousand Suns. And yes, so if you want, you can have a look on that one. I would be very liked and pleased if you like my pictures, if you start to follow me. I'm trying to put out content as much as I can, but obviously I'm a little bit hampered by my time because, as I mentioned before, I'm doing PhD and I'm near to finish, so it's hard to deliver regular content.
He's a great painter, folks. If you can, definitely check out the Instagram.
Yeah, and that's the next thing. I'm not bad in painting, but I need a lot of time to do that.
Yes,
so,
you are very meticulous in your painting, but great results. All right, that's gonna do it for us.
Yes.
So we'll see you next time on the War Corgi YouTube channel. Thanks.
Bye bye, guys.